news on this. You guys kind of kept it low key, but how did this all come about?
Yeah, well, basically the week before New Jersey Supercross, I found out Davey was going to get his wrist fixed, and they needed a guy for the 40 class, and yeah, they asked me if I wanted to do it, and at first I was not so sure about it because I never really rode a 40 before, but I mean, it's an opportunity I couldn't pass up, really. It's you know, factory team, this is what I want, my dream, really, so yeah, I'm going to take a crack on the 450 this summer, and it's going to be rough, tough at first, you know, never, like I said, never rode a 450, but, you know, I'm just going to go in with an open mind and try to progress every weekend.
Have you got a lot of time to test, or was it just kind of, hey, here's what we had last year, go for it?
Yeah, well, since I'm located on the East Coast, we thought it'd be best if I stayed there until the first round. So I've only really rode the 450 3 times. The first time with Supercross suspension, and the last Monday, Tuesday this week on motocross suspension. So that's all I've rode it. They basically, Blake's been testing out in California, so today actually they gave me his setup, and so no testing really yet. Try some different linkages and stuff like that. I'll just bolt it on back home, but I think after Hangtown we'll go back to Southern California between this race and Glen Helen and do some testing.
Cool. Hey, these last few years for you, it's been kind of bouncing around, always a really good bike, a lot of really good support, but when you're doing it on your own and then you don't have a plan for the summer and you have to go run around the country or to Canada,
For sure.
it's like hard to stay fresh in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
So what are you hoping to take from this? Like, would you like to do what Vinny did and stay here again next year? Or?
Yeah, 100%. You know, last year this time last year, actually yesterday, I just landed in England, and I was in England for like 8 weeks, and then in Canada for the summer. So it's definitely good to have a concrete plan of what I'm gonna do all summer. And yeah, my goal is to definitely have a good summer, and I'd like to get a ride for Supercross next year and stay in America. You know, the best of the best are in America, and you know, this is where I want to race.
Cool. Have you had to adjust your riding style at all? Like, you've always been a 250 guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, actually, like the very first day on the 450, it was full stock 450. It was actually probably really better than I felt on the 250 riding outdoors, just because I think I'm more of like a smooth rider rather than a guy that just kind of wings it and holds it wide open. So, but I mean, it's definitely, that was like on a very smooth track, you know, freshly groomed. So I definitely have to kind of calm myself down a little bit for the 450 when the track is really rough and gnarly, and you know, for the long motos, I'm definitely going to kind of pace myself a little bit. But you know, the 450, it's easier to ride in some areas, but for like a really gnarly rough track when you're racing, it's definitely going to be a lot more demanding on the body.
Have you changed anything at all, or like just still MTF deal? That's what you guys will do after Colorado?
Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely be training MTF, you know, my whole life. Brian, Colleen, and Tony, those guys are like family to me. But also I have Michael Byrne and Forrest Butler, you know, helping me out with advice during the week and obviously on the weekend. So it's definitely really nice to have those guys, you know, guidance and help add it on to my additional program at MTF.
Hey, but this isn't the first time you've done the Nationals before, so like,
right.
You've done a couple of these tracks. Is this what you remember?
Yeah, in 2014 and 2015, I rode for the Orange Brigade team on the TT class, and I think I did like 4 or 5 races each year. Then I had to get my knee fixed, which is a really bummer deal. But yeah, it's good to be back at the you know, the Nationals, and it's definitely a lot more high paced than like the GPs and the Canadian stuff. So that's the biggest difference, I think. Not to mention the competition, just, you know, basically the whole day on Saturday is a sprint, whereas in Canada and the GP is kind of spread out and a little more relaxed.
All right, you said career-wise what your expectations are, but in the mix of the pack, where do you think you'll be? I
mean, it's hard to say, really. Like, me and the team, our goal for this weekend is to get some points, get top 20. You know, by the end of the series, I'd like to be fighting for top 10. That's realistically where I need to be if I want to make this, you know, keep going with this. So, but you know, like I said, I haven't really had much time on the bike. So the first race, I just would like to get top 20 both motos and be able to progress for the rest of the series. That's the biggest thing.